Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the House will bear with me. Before I start, I must introduce the motion. Mr. Speaker, sir, I rise to move the following motion. Being the ascertainment of the threshold required for the impeachment of the Honorable Dr. Eric Kipkoech Mutai, the Governor of Kericho County. That aware that pursuant to standing order to Article 181 of the Constitution and Section 33 of the County Governments Act, on Friday, 15th August 2025, the County Assembly of Kericho approved a motion for the removal from office by impeachment of the Honorable Dr. Eric Kipkoech Mutai, the Governor of Kericho County, and noting that by a letter reference number KCA/SP/3 Volume 1/39, dated Friday, 15th August 2025, and received in the office of the Speaker of the Senate on Monday, 18th August 2025, the Speaker of the County Assembly of Kericho informed the Speaker of the Senate of the approval of the motion by the Assembly and further forwarded to the Speaker of the Senate documents in evidence of the proceedings of the Assembly, including the list of 33 out of 47 members of the County Assembly that voted in favor of the removal from office by impeachment of Honorable Dr. Eric Kipkoech Mutai, the Governor of Kericho. Further, noting that in the course of hearing, an important question arose on whether the threshold of 32 votes needed for impeachment of a governor, as contemplated in Section 33 of the County Governments Act and Standing Order Number 74 of the County Assembly of Kericho, was made, considering the evidence adduced before the Senate by the parties on the issues, and further considering the report on the County Assembly of Kericho Chamber electronic voting system submitted by the ICT experts on the invitation of the Senate. Now, therefore, the Senate resolves that the threshold required for removal of a governor from office by impeachment, contemplated in Section 33 of the County Governments Act and Standing Order Number 74 of the County Assembly of Kericho, was made. Mr. Speaker, this is a preliminary objection. And Mr. Speaker, as you pointed out earlier, should we find that the threshold required was made, that will be the end of business this evening. If it was, Mr. Speaker, if the threshold of 32 was not met, if it was not met, then that will be the end of business this evening. Otherwise, we will proceed to the next motion. Mr. Speaker, it is very interesting that 2 days ago, we celebrated 15 years after the promulgation of the Constitution of Kenya 2010. Mr. Speaker, fortuitously, this debate is taking place at a time when in public domain there are people who think that men and women of this House do not have their own minds, do not have the capacity to make a decision on such a huge thing. So to me, this is a God-given opportunity. Let us do a good job so that we bring to shame those people who have no respect for other people who sit in offices other than the offices they themselves sit in. Mr. Speaker, just like you maybe, I have been helpless from the beginning up to the end of the hearing of the evidence on the PO. We have been thrown from one position to the other by this witness or that other witness. Members, you have seen witnesses from both parties flip and flop. You have seen, Mr. Speaker, others outrightly lying on oath. Mr. Speaker, you have even seen others contradicting themselves, those witnesses. And what's more, you have had, for the first time in our history in this parliament, you've seen a witness by the name of Edna rescind her signed affidavit. Mr. Speaker, in some cases, and there were many, in excess of 16, we saw witnesses here who had no sworn affidavit. They were speaking to a collective so-called affidavit. Mr. Speaker, because of the president of the senior counsel, Omugeni, and many other eminent lawyers, including Justice Madayo, we know that we were at pains to find out how we would cross-examine and how we would seek further clarity from these people who swore, these witnesses who swore on a collective affidavit. Mark you, the affidavit were being sworn in respect of electronic voting. If they were being sworn collectively, in the case of voice vote, then maybe you would say, in voice vote, we vote as a group. But electronic voting is an individual responsibility. So any witness coming here wanting to give us an affidavit on how they voted or didn't vote electronically, it had to be in the single person. It could not have been collective. Mr. Speaker, we have seen something unprecedented. A lawyer to this trial telling the House and on camera that he voted in Kericho. I've never seen it. And I'm sure the legal fraternity and you, the learned friends, you must be waiting what this House will decide about a lawyer who purports to vote in a county assembly process, something which was then controverted by the expert who said that there was no evidence whatsoever that this lawyer voted in Kericho. What's more, you have seen impunity where not just a lawyer, but a senior counsel go and assume the role of a speaker in the county assembly of Kericho and calls for members of the county assembly to abide by his request. They stand. What is more, Mr. Speaker, the same council has tried to mislead this House by saying that there was interference with the voting logs. The expert who came confirmed that such interference was not there. This is a good opportunity for us to speak to all respective professions, be it the legal profession, architectural, whatever, that people must live within the oath of office that you take when you qualify from a particular discipline. Mr. Speaker, I'll keep it short by saying the following as my last request. that we are lucky. I don't know whether it was the wisdom of the Speaker or the wisdom of the leader of the majority with the Speaker and the leader of the minority with the Speaker and others, when the House made a decision, as communicated by the Speaker, that this House must call for an expert, independent IT. Can you imagine where it would have been? When the first expert came, this expert was from the county assembly. He carried most of us along. But when the lawyers descended on him, we became confused. We didn't know whether to believe him or not. Subsequently, when the team of the governor then brought its own version of an expert, it was a bigger disaster. In fact, it is the senator of Narok who captured it. He said that his affidavit was more about a collection of his credentials. And when I looked at the credentials, ladies and gentlemen, distinguished senators, it was nothing impressive. The only serious credential there was bachelor in computer science. Otherwise, the other things were diploma here, the other things, some course training there, nothing that is, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, sir, Mr. Speaker, sir, you'll have your time, my brother. You'll have your time.
Senator Boni, proceed and conclude.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker, sir, when I looked at those two experts and read and understood what the legal expert, not legal, the IT expert from the governor's side was telling us, he did not speak to the voting in Kericho. He started telling us the standard things that you can cut and paste when you want to increase your knowledge about these things where a majority of us are strangers. I want therefore to thank you for bringing Mr. Lubuga, the expert who came from the authority. It is only Lubuga who clearly demonstrated to us, those of us who are lay, that voting took place electronically, who demonstrated to us, Mr. Speaker, that 33 MCS voted in Kericho, who confirmed to us that although the system could be better, but as of the time of voting, it was credible, who confirmed to us, Mr. Speaker, that no one MCA would be able to vote for the other one. I therefore conclude, Mr. Speaker, by proposing that, honorable members, let us give the people of Kericho an opportunity to hear your views on what you thought about the allegations against the governor. They want to know, because I know you are not biased. And the only way you can give them that opportunity to hear what the Senate has to say about how Dr. Kip Koech has been working in office is by allowing this PO to fall, because 33 elected leaders in Kericho found through voting electronically that the governor had a case to answer before us. I move and request that the distinguished senator from Narok, the Honorable Olekina, seconds my motion.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I rise to second this motion.
that this House finds that the threshold required by the Constitution for impeaching a governor has been met. Mr. Speaker, I'll be brief to the point. I will try not to be sensational, but factual. There are times for being sensational, but there are times for being factual. Mr. Speaker, with me here, I hold 2 audit reports of a system. One audit report is allegedly an expert who have been presented by the county governor of Kericho, who 30 pages out of 37 pages, 39 pages is mere credentials of an IT expert, not really taking us to the issues of whether the threshold was met. The Constitution of Kenya in Article 182 requires that 2/3 is met. And in Kericho County, there are 47 members of the County Assembly, which means this Senate has determined that the threshold is 32. That was an issue that we debated. Others think it's 31. But in this case, the ICT Authority of Kenya determined that according to the evidence presented, 33 members of the County Assembly voted to impeach the county governor of Kericho. Mr. Speaker, all of us here are litigant, one way or the other. I have never, in my history of litigation and going to court, sworn an adjoined affidavit with my co-witness. In fact, when I first saw that affidavit, I said this affidavit is defective, because an affidavit is deponed by one individual person under oath that what they are about to say is something that they can be able to stand with. When I looked at the affidavit that was sworn by 18, allegedly 18, I'm told one bolted out and presented a different affidavit, it was very difficult for me to determine who is taking responsibility on what. It was so difficult, even for the 2 counsel, to be able to cross-examine those witnesses. Because one of them said that I signed the affidavit at 1 p.m. after lunch, yet we have been shown evidence clearly that the proceedings proceeded all the way past 9 p.m. So, Mr. Speaker, I don't want to belabor the point. The issue is very clear. When it comes to voting in this House, Mr. Speaker, we have 3 choices of voting. You either vote to the affirmative and say yes, or you vote no, or you abstain. There was a huge argument about those ones who alleged that they abstained. It is impractical, Mr. Speaker, when a voting is being carried out electronically, for you to stand in the middle of a hall and say, I abstain. Unless you press a button and you say, I have abstained, and your record and your vote is indicated there, it will be difficult for the results to be printed out with your voice having absented. So, Mr. Speaker, I do not want to proceed further. I want to urge this Senate to recognize the ICT Authority audit and their findings and their conclusions, and proceed accordingly with the impeachment hearing so that we can be able to delve into other matters that requires this Senate to call these governors to account for the resources that we sent to the county governments. Mr. Speaker, I beg to second.
Honorable Senators, I will now propose the questions. Order, Senator Fomeru. Order. That aware that pursuant to Article 181 of the Constitution and Section 33 of the County Governments Act, on Friday, 15th of August 2025, the County Assembly of Kericho approved a motion for the removal from office by impeachment of the Honorable Dr. Eric Kipkoech Mutai, Governor of Kericho County. Noting that by a letter reference number KCA/SP/3 volume 1 into brackets 39, dated Friday, 15th of August, 2025, and received in the office of the Speaker of the Senate on Monday, 18th August 2025, the Speaker of the County Assembly of Kericho informed the Speaker of the Senate of the approval of the motion by the County Assembly and further forwarded to the Speaker of the Senate documents in evidence of the proceedings of the Assembly, including the list of 33 out of 47 members of the County Assembly that voted in favor of the removal from office by impeachment of Honorable Dr. Eric Mutai, the Governor of Kericho County. Further, noting that in the course of the hearing, an important question arose on whether the threshold of 32 votes needed for the impeachment of a governor as contemplated in Section 33 of the County Government Act and Standing Order 74 of the County Assembly of Kericho was met. Considering the evidence adduced before the Senate by the parties on the issue, and further, considering the report of the County Assembly of Kericho Chamber electronic voting system submitted by the ICT experts on the invitation of the Senate, now therefore, the Senate resolves that the threshold required for removal of a governor from office by impeachment contemplated in Section 33 of the County Government Act and Standing Order 74 of the County Assembly of Kericho was met. Now, honorable senators, the floor is open for debate. But again, going to the agreement that was negotiated between the two sides, we'll have 4 members speak from the minority side and 4 members speak from the majority side, each speaking for more than 4 minutes. Not more than 4 minutes. You need not utilize the 4. I will start with Senator Osotsi.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I will restrict myself to IT issues. Mr. Speaker, you made a decision that this House hires an IT expert so that we can be guided on the issue of the IT system that was deployed for voting. And that would give us a pointer as to whether the threshold was met or not. Mr. Speaker, I have gone through the report by the expert, and allow me to point out the inconsistencies that I've seen in the report. Mr. Speaker, this report is basically a production of the extracts from volume 4A of the County Assembly bundles. If you look at the logs, it's the same. If you look at the list of users of the system, is the same. But there are only 2 things that have been included. And this is contained on page 13, where the experts attempted to do an IP lookup for that IP address that had been used 9 times. And in the lookup, Mr. Speaker, the lookup is supposed to tell you the physical location of a device, in this case on the internet. The physical location of this device is Kericho, but there are inconsistencies, Mr. Speaker. The inconsistency here indicates that the city is Leten town. Mr. Speaker, we all know that the County Assembly of Kericho is in Kericho town, if I'm not wrong. But this lookup brings Leten town. I have a problem with that. Mr. Speaker, I've taken the trouble to do the IP lookup for all the other IP addresses that have been provided on page 29 of the County Assembly bundles, volume 4A. If you look at the lookup results, Mr. Speaker, you'll be shocked that the lookup results indicates that these devices were in different towns in Kenya, Mr. Speaker. Kiambu, Kijabe, Eldoret, Ahero, Narok, Yala, Baringo, Nyandarua, and Kapsabet. And Mr. Speaker, I attempted to ask this House to give us an opportunity to demonstrate that on the screen. I was denied that opportunity. I would like to ask this House that we can still do an IP lookup and we determine the physical location of these devices. These devices I proposed, Mr. Speaker, were phones that were used to vote. Mr. Speaker, an issue was raised about IP address, which had been used 9 times, 41.139.238.129. And we were told that that was a Wi-Fi that was shared. But Mr. Speaker, there is an IP address, another one, that has been used 3 times, 154.1. Answer that question.
You have exhausted your time, Senator. All right. 2 minutes, you conclude. 2 minutes, you conclude.
If you look at the only thing that my student, because this Philip was my student, I trained him on ITIL, which is an international standard on IT security. The only other serious thing that I've seen is on page 16, where the expert tried to bring a checklist that is used in international ICT audit. But this checklist, Mr. Speaker, if you go through it, there are no supporting documents to this report. They are not supporting. Everywhere except 2 instances is indicated no. The rest are a yes. But there are no supporting documents to support, including the matter of training, whether training for the system was done or not. Mr. Speaker, I want this House to note that yours truly was an expert in presidential petition, Raila Odinga versus IBC, together with Senator Kajwang. And our evidence on the same matter, results transmission, annulled the election, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I want to take you Article 86 of the Constitution on voting methods. It says the voting method must be simple, accurate, verifiable, secure, accountable, and transparent. Mr. Speaker, this does not qualify in any way to meet the basic requirement under Article 86 of the Constitution. Mr. Speaker, this House's credibility has been questioned. We have an opportunity to decide whether we want to continue being condemned outside there or make the right decision. I want to urge this House that we need to send back these MCS to do the right job and bring back the right voting numbers. Whether this has met the threshold or not, I want to.
Senator Mungatana.
Mr. Speaker, I want to first of all agree with the mover of the motion on one issue. And that's the only issue I'm going to agree with Bonnie Khalwale. That this House must be respected by everybody, by every office. And Mr. Speaker, this House has donated none other than the Deputy President and Cabinet Ministers. So it must be respected by everybody, Mr. Speaker. And I come to my point. Mr. Speaker, I disagree with the mover of this motion. I totally disagree. There is doubt as to the numbers of the people who actually participated in the voting. There is doubt. There is doubt. And you cannot escape that, because we have been sitting here for the last 3 days, Mr. Speaker, and every person who has spoken to this matter, Mr. Speaker, including the experts, they have created doubt and continue to create doubt. Mr. Speaker, we are sitting here as a quasi-judicial unit. In fact, it is a criminal case that we are handling, almost like a criminal case. And the question that we must ask ourselves is, what is the standard that must be met when we are proving things? What is the standard? And if we can agree what the standard is, then we should not have a problem with rejecting this motion. Mr. Speaker, we borrow heavily from the American system. In the US, Mr. Speaker, 8 governors have been impeached, and 5 of them have been sent home. 3 have survived, one of them having resigned before the process was completed. Mr. Speaker, in the US, the test is very simple. They say it is legal evidence plus political tests. But Mr. Speaker, here in Kenya, we have a standard that is divided into 2. And I want to propose, Mr. Speaker, that when the motion is coming from the county assembly, when we are talking about the issues of threshold, Mr. Speaker, the standard must be like the criminal level standard. It must be beyond reasonable doubt. It must be. On these other motions, on these other charges, then we can adopt the American standard of saying it is legal evidence and political test. But on the question from the county assembly, Mr. Speaker, it must be beyond reasonable doubt. Mr. Speaker, here they have said that the expert report, the ICT authority, is to be followed like it is from the Bible. But Mr. Speaker, he himself, I heard him say that if you have the credentials of the ID and the IDDP, any person could actually vote. He said it himself here. And Mr. Speaker, the other senators are not telling us that that report was not signed by the side of the governors. They did not sign it because they did not agree with it. The ICT man disappeared for 2 hours, and when he came, he was not speaking to anybody. Mr. Speaker,
Senator Professor Tom Ojenda.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I will address myself to the threshold issue based on the evidence tendered before Senate. Mr. Speaker, witness statements were shown to us from pages 113 and other individual witness statements thereafter. 18 witnesses, Mr. Speaker, testified in a manner as to recant their signature or their vote on the day that voting occurred. That raises doubt, Mr. Speaker. 2, Mr. Speaker, the report that was apparently brought to this House by the IT expert seemed not to have achieved concurrence. It therefore did not conform to the terms of reference that was set or that was set by the Senate for this report to pass the test of authenticity or concurrence of all those who sat to make this report. Mr. Speaker, thirdly, Mr. Speaker, impeachments are not under Articles 181 of the Constitution and Section 33 of the County Government Act. are set on a threshold that is cast in stone. And that threshold, Mr. Speaker, as cast in stone, speaks to a minimum of 32 MCAs for Kericho County. The moment there's doubt as to a vote, Mr. Speaker, then that doubt must be resolved in favor of the governor. Mr. Speaker, I say this not because I want to be a governor or that I hold a PhD like the governor being impeached, Mr. Speaker, but because I speak the truth. And we must uphold, Mr. Speaker, and protect the office of governor in the same manner, Mr. Speaker, as we protect any other officers. Mr. Wambua, I know you want to be governor. Keep quiet. So, Mr. Speaker, it is that doubt or that shred of doubt, Mr. Speaker, that leads me to the conclusion, Mr. Speaker, and I agree with the analysis of Osotsi, Senator Osotsi, that we cannot sacrifice the governor at the altar of an unverified system. It is unethical and we will not do that. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Mandago.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, first, I want to disagree with the move of the motion. First, Honorable Speaker, on the issue of credentials, you know, I heard Senator Boni Khalwale say the expert from the governor's team, other than a degree, it was dotted with some diploma here and there. I want to remind Boni Khalwale that diploma is a recognized qualification in the Kenya education system. And if he has forgotten, I also want to remind him that his house was built by a person with a diploma in building. Yes. And even as we say that the expert from the governor provided a document that was littered with qualification, the expert from ICT Authority, the only thing that we have in this report is his title, Deputy Director of ICT. We don't even know whether he's really an expert. Honorable Speaker, having said that, I'm also an ICT person. And there are very basic things in ICT security you must look at. And all of us know, even when you are opening your own email and you create a password, the system alone will tell you that password is not strong. And there are things that you are not allowed to use as a password, things like identity card number. Honorable Speaker, even as we sit here as senators, our files are in the custody of the clerk. All the staff members of the Senate handle our files. They know our ID numbers. The IPPD number is in the file. They know our IPPD numbers, Honorable Speaker. How then do you say that the credentials were so secure when we all know that ID numbers are in the files, the staff are working around with the files, they have those ID numbers, they have those credentials? Honorable Speaker, the council from the county assembly said, if an alligator leaves the water and the river and tells you the Igbo is sick, who are you to doubt? So for us as senators, if honorable members of county assembly who are alleged to have voted have worked physically here, we are seeing them alive, and they have said they never voted. Honorable Speaker, what reason do we have to doubt that they voted? Honorable Speaker, if you look at this IP, number 41, 139, 237, 129, that appears in the IP lookup to have been in Laikipia, I highly suspect is the one that was used to vote for the 3 honorable members. Honorable Speaker, why did that IP vote for 3 members? Honorable Speaker, this impeachment was premeditated. You cannot in ICT develop a system today, launch a day before, and use it before doing what we call a test run of the system, Honorable Speaker. There is a difference between a voting system that tallies electronic data and a biometric where you just have to put your fingerprint, Honorable Speaker. Biometric is just part of electronic, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, the County Assembly must tell us, how do you hire an officer who has been fired by the county executive and immediately you go and employ them in the County Assembly for only one mission, to make sure that you impeach the governor in a manner that is...
Senator, no, you're done. No. We cannot go that route. Senator Mogeni, you have made your point. No. Senator Mogeni. Oh yes, Senator Mogeni, just take your seat. Order. 30 seconds.
Yes, in that 30 seconds, Honorable Speaker, the County Assembly members are saying the governor is in gross violation of the law. I had one member of the County Assembly saying the governor should have fired the chief officers. While on the same testimony, Honorable Speaker, the MCA acknowledged that that is the work of the County Public Service Board. How then do they say that the governor has violated the laws, Honorable Speaker? Finally, Honorable Speaker.
Senator Mogeni.
Yes, Mr. Speaker, sir. It is a universally accepted principle, Mr. Speaker, that you would rather acquit 10 suspects, if in doubt, than to convict one unfairly. Mr. Speaker, today is my Sabbath, and I came here to understand this system that was developed in Migori, a special purpose vehicle system that was meant to impeach the governor of Kericho. Mr. Speaker, for the 3 days that we have sat here, Mr. Speaker, on my part, I have not been able to understand this system, Mr. Speaker. I'm unable to understand, Mr. Speaker, how this system was allocated to each person in terms of devices, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, there is drama that has played out in this House in the eyes of the public, Mr. Speaker. An MCA, Mr. Speaker, called Martin, came to this House, Mr. Speaker, and swore by the name of Almighty God, Mr. Speaker, that he did not cast his vote at the County Assembly of Kericho, Mr. Speaker. Do you believe the system, or do you believe the person who carried the Bible and swore before the Senate, Mr. Speaker? Whom do you trust? Is it the Bible or the system? It's the Bible, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, more drama, Mr. Speaker. The same MCA Martin, Mr. Speaker, played a video before this House that was watched by Kenyans, Mr. Speaker, where the mover of the motion, Mr. Speaker, was recorded in a discussion saying that he voted on behalf of that MCA. Does that create a doubt in the minds of senators? Yes or no? Mr. Speaker, if you are in doubt, acquit. If you have been placed in a situation where there is reasonable doubt as to whether that 3 MCAs voted, acquit, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the expert, Mr. Luvuga, I posed a question to him. I asked him, if an MCA had a link, a username, a password, could he vote on behalf of another MCA? He said, yes. Mr. Speaker, in this House, where I sit there, with that card there, if my neighbor, Senator Wambua, has my PIN, and he wanted to play mischief, Mr. Speaker, he can cast a vote on my behalf, Mr. Speaker. As I submit this evening, Mr. Speaker, if you look at the entire system, Mr. Speaker, reasonable doubt has been created as to whether the 33 MCAs who voted indeed cast their vote. Mr. Speaker, there is what we call the materiality principle. If you remove the 4 MCAs, the motion must fail, and we return it back to the MCAs. If, on the other hand, you are convinced that that 3 MCAs voted, we can move to the next step. My submission this afternoon, Mr. Speaker, is that reasonable doubt has been created as to whether the 33 MCAs voted. The only thing we can do as senators, Mr. Speaker, is to return the motion back to the MCAs in Kericho. They conduct the impeachment in a proper manner, Mr. Speaker, and return to us, Mr. Speaker. Remember the case of O.J. Simpson's. If the gloves cannot fit, acquit. In this case, Mr. Speaker, if you are not convinced that 33 MCAs indeed voted, the motion fails and we return it back to the county.
Senator Kisang.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. As the members have said, I'm an expert. And I want to report to the House that Senator Mandagoa and Senator Osotsi are my juniors in the profession. Secondly, Honorable Speaker, what members needs to be reminded, when the expert from ICT Authority was here, he said for you to vote, you need IBBD number, your ID number, and you need the link that has been sent to your phone so that you can vote. Honorable Speaker, I don't know why our memories are so short that within 2 or 3 hours, we have forgotten what the ICT expert from ICT Authority said, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, secondly, Honorable Speaker, my colleague, Senator Osotsi, said the logs that were produced by the expert from ICT Authority are the same as the ones in volume 4A of the County Assembly. That confirms, Honorable Speaker, that what the expert brought is exactly what was done at the County Assembly. Third, Honorable Speaker, if you listened to the expert from ICT Authority, Honorable Speaker, he explained in a layman's language to the senators that IB address is like a gate, like this particular, he pointed to the gate that we use, Honorable Speaker, that this is what the internet service providers use. And he gave us Safaricom, Telcom, and Airtel, Honorable Speaker. So this, the location where my colleagues are saying, it is where the service providers location were, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, there is a question that I put to the two experts that did you undertake penetration test? The expert from the governor did not answer that question. The expert from ICT Authority, Honorable Speaker, said there were several penetrations that failed, and it is in the report. And he said he attempted to do it, and it was not possible, Honorable Speaker, to do it. So I want to urge my colleagues, for the benefit and of the people of Kericho County, I'm requesting and asking you, honorable members, let us support the motion, and then we move to the real issues so that the people of Kericho County can get justice.
Order, Honorable
Speaker,
Senators.
Protect me from some members.
Order.
We don't know where they have come from this night, Honorable Speaker.
Order, Honorable Senators. Order. Order. Senator Fernandi. Order. Senator Fernandi. Order, Honorable Senators. Now, Senator Fernandi. Senator Chimera and Senator Fernandi, I give you your first question for the evening. And Senator Fernandi, I give you your first question for the evening. Any other disorderly conduct, I'll throw you out of the chamber. Conclude.
Honorable Speaker, as an expert who still practices, and I practiced from 2nd of November 1994, after working.
One minute, you conclude. 1 minute to conclude, Honorable Senator.
Honorable Speaker, as an expert who has practiced for over 34 years, Honorable Speaker, between the two experts, I believe the expert from ICT Authority. And for your information, we did not seek for the profile for the expert from ICT Authority. And to reach that level of a deputy director, you must have masters in ICT. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Finally, Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker.
Majority Leader, will 5 minutes be okay?
No, Mr. Speaker. You know, I tried not to speak during this entire process. Anyway, I will try, Mr. Speaker.
Try, because if you see at the clock, we're at 11, and you know exactly what that means.
Okay, I understand,
So
Speaker.
keep it under 5 minutes.
Mr. Speaker, I must record that this has been a very difficult 3 days. I've sat here for many years transacting impeachments, but I didn't know the feeling when your own county is on trial. It's embarrassing, Mr. Speaker, traumatizing, and heartbreaking. Mr. Speaker, I must register my appreciation to colleagues in this House. First, for agreeing to listen to our issues. That you must receive in great measure from the people of Kericho. Up to this point, Mr. Speaker, I want to pass my appreciation to this House because as of Wednesday morning, when this trial began, Mr. Speaker, there were doubts in the minds of many people in Kericho that this impeachment hearing was going to go the way of the previous impeachment hearing, Mr. Speaker, where the county assembly was sent back with a bundle of documents without listening to what are the issues that the people of Kericho are facing. For that, I must register my appreciation, colleagues. Secondly, Mr. Speaker, I have taken time to follow this exercise for the last 3 days. When Mr. Alfred Korir, and I'll limit my conversation on this topic, Mr. Speaker, to purely on the motion that is before us. But if should time allow, I'll say something at the end of it. I listened to the first gentleman who was brought here, Mr. Alfred Korir, the ICT gentleman from the County Assembly. And he explained himself quite clearly on the exercise that took place on that particular day of voting, Mr. Speaker, up to the end. When the counsels for the governor rose and poked holes into his presentations, they created some level of doubt in me. And I said, perhaps, maybe, there is something that is in there. Mr. Speaker, as a son of Kericho, I know many people that work in the County Assembly of Kericho. Therefore, out of the abundance of caution, I made specific phone calls to the people who sat in the chamber as the members of the County Assembly were voting. And I asked them specific questions because this case has finally boiled down to the 3 votes of the MCA for Kapkatet, the MCA for Kapkurgerwet, and the MCA for, I forget the other, Cheplanget, Mr. Speaker. And I asked them specifically, please tell me, as your senator, what I need to tell my colleagues when I eventually rise to speak to them. And that gentleman assured me and told me those 3 gentlemen voted in support of this motion, Mr. Speaker. But later on, because these are people that I know, came in here and they took the Bible, they took the oath, Mr. Speaker, and they said that they had not voted. Therefore, I said, let me listen further to be convinced. As fate will have it, Mr. Speaker, in your usual wise way, you guided this House that perhaps we needed the opinion of an independent expert, somebody who's neutral to the conflict, somebody who has no interest to protect, somebody who just wants to serve their country and guide the Parliament of the Republic of Kenya to make the right decision, Mr. Speaker. I said I'll listen to that one. Mr. Speaker, the gentleman that came here, I have never met him. I want to believe that he has very little interaction, perhaps with the people of Kericho. save for the fact that he was executing an assignment granted by this House, Mr. Speaker. He has returned to this House a verdict. In fact, Mr. Speaker, I want to ask, why are we debating this motion? I thought you already gave a ruling that because we cannot make an impartial decision for one reason or the other, maybe for want of understanding of technology, Mr. Speaker, or because of other interests, let us invite an expert to guide us. An expert has gone through the system. They have given us a result. What are we debating, Mr. Speaker? Why are we voting, Mr. Speaker? Mr. Speaker, we are being unfair to ourselves, even procedurally, as a House. Why did we call experts? It's because we knew, even amongst ourselves, Mr. Speaker, the so-called IT experts in the House will not agree. Mr. Speaker, at least I have listened to Senator Kisang, somebody that I respect so much. I have gone to his private office. I know that he practices IT. But you know, Mr. Speaker, nowadays everybody, even somebody just downloads WhatsApp onto their phone, and they all of a sudden they say they are ICT experts. Mr. Speaker.
Majority Leader.
Yes, Speaker.
Are you therefore suggesting that the Senate is wrong by bringing this motion?
Correct. I am very clear in my mind, Mr. Speaker, that upon the tabling of this report by the expert, as per your direction, we should have proceeded to look into the issues.
Order, honorable senators. Order. Senator Aaron Cheriot, you're the majority leader in this Senate.
Yes, Mr. Speaker.
That motion is yours. Why did you bring it if you didn't believe in it?
That motion, listen, Mr. Speaker, you need to hear me. I am now speaking as a senator representing the people of Kericho. That motion has been brought by the office of the majority leader.
Proceed, Senator, proceed.
The most useful thing for me, Mr. Speaker, in this House, before being majority leader, is first to represent the interests of the people of Kericho. And that is what I am doing. Mr. Speaker, I want to remind you something. That as you listen to colleagues contribute, I want to urge colleagues that you can disagree with the things that have been said. But honestly...
Order, Senator for Meru and Senator for Nairobi City County. Allow the majority leader speaking at the Senate of Kericho. This is a very emotional moment for him. The only thing you can do is to support. Proceed. Proceed.
Mr. Speaker, I don't know.
Order. Now, Senator for Kiambu County, I'm going to caution you for the evening. You proceed to be disorderly. You may not have the opportunity to exercise the right to vote. Proceed. Proceed.
Mr. Speaker, page 5 out of 22.
Order, Senator Thangwa. Unless you don't want to participate in the remaining part of this proceeding. Proceed.
Page 5 of the 22 out of this report, Mr. Speaker, the expert answers a question that many of you, colleague senators, continue to cling on as you explain why you don't want us to open the real case and look into the issues of the people of Kericho. Because he states, was it possible for any MCA or any other person who had a link to vote on the motion on behalf of an MCA or another MCA? The answer, in caps and in bold, Mr. Speaker, is no. You cannot vote for any other person, an MCA, with the link provided alone. You need to have the other details. And Senator Kisang, together with that expert, Mr. Speaker, have already debunked this theory by the governor's team, Mr. Speaker, that there are MCAs who voted for others. Therefore, Mr. Speaker, I know, I've been in this House long enough, and I know when people have decided, they have decided. But I want to make a humble plea to you, colleagues, that even when you have decided on a matter, at least, at the very least, respect the work of professionals. It is not fair, Mr. Speaker, some of the comments that have been made about an innocent gentleman who was just seated on his desk doing his work yesterday afternoon. It is us who invited him to come to this House. That gentleman, Mr. Speaker, had no business coming here. How can we invite a gentleman to this House, Mr.
Senator
Speaker?
Hazana? You're disorderly. Proceed.
Mr. Speaker, I'm about to conclude, so I want to plead that my colleagues listen to me. I want to register the appreciation of the people of Kericho to this gentleman who gave us the green light and assured us that what the Assembly did is right. Not because I have anything against the governor, Mr. Speaker. This gentleman is somebody I know very well. This gentleman, Mr. Speaker, is a governor duly elected. But I wanted to listen to the things that the MCAs have alleged. Today, as I stand here, Mr. Speaker, I will go home. I don't know how members will vote. I want to plead with you, Mr. Speaker, not the Speaker actually, with you colleague members, that allow us the opportunity, at least so that the people of Kericho can know what exactly the Senate of the Republic of Kenya thinks on all the issues that the County Assembly has brought before you. Do you want to tell me, leaders, that you are surely going home convinced that the County Assembly has not been able to prove beyond reasonable doubt that there is systemic corruption in the county government of Kericho? Mr. Speaker, unfortunately, or fortunately, we may never get to that particular point if this motion doesn't carry the favor of members. But I want to tell the people of Kericho, speaking from this house, that justice you will get by any means necessary. It can be from this house, Mr. Speaker, or, Mr. Speaker, through other agencies constitutionally charged, Mr. Speaker, to ensure, Mr. Speaker, that when public funds are pilfered and looted, Mr. Speaker, they are recovered. There are companies that have been named here. There are individual directors, Mr. Speaker, that own those companies. They are directors of those institutions, Mr. Speaker, in the public institution that is the county government of Kericho, who engage in those exercises, Mr. Speaker. We want to tell you that by bad luck, if you escape the Senate today, you will not escape the next trap that the people of Kericho have laid for you. I thank you and rest my case.
Now, Senator Boni, as you respond, look at that clock. If you can do it under 1 minute, you'll help the Senate.
Mr. Speaker, I want to thank the leader of the majority for allowing me to move this motion. I am very, very satisfied and happy for the reason that the House has now risen to the level it should be as a house of debate. You are not supposed to agree. You are not supposed to agree. You are supposed to disagree and then convince your colleague for him to see your point. You've done very well, colleagues. Vote the way you want. But let me, as I appeal to you, that we allow this motion to go on until we hear the full motion, let me appeal to you something I learned in medical school, a professional. My professor of orthopedics, Professor Mulimba, was approached by a medical student whose father was suffering from diabetes. And Mulimba said, for you to treat this diabetes, the problem is the rotten foot. Let us amputate. The boy said, no, you are a professor, but you cannot amputate the limb of my father. Beg as professor begged. The boy refused. The diabetes consumed because the boy didn't want the opinion of the professional. Luvuga has been here a professional. Pay attention to him. He is right, whether you like it or not. I move.
Now, honorable senators, we are moving to division. We are going to vote on this first motion. Now, voting shall be by delegation, and therefore I will ask the Sergeant-at-Arms to ring the division bell for 2 minutes. Two minutes.
China, so. Are they okay?
Yes.